Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Mette. I used to work with entrepreneurship, and I don't do it that much now. I'm an independent facilitator. So you can say I do it live, or I do it for companies. So I work with innovation processes, and I'm hired by companies and public organizations to work with bringing their ideas into real world. But I used to work in University College Lillebælt, and from there I also have some experience in educational entrepreneurship and so on. But my point of view now is from the facilitator's point of view. How to make people work in the best possible way, and I think teaching entrepreneurship, working on entrepreneurship in the education, you have to shift roles often from the teacher to the facilitator. So therefore, I think we have more or less the same field. Though I don't work in education anymore. But the problem is always when I facilitate, we do a lot of in plenary, we talk together in one big group, and then people often go out in groups. And from there, I got to go like, okay, I hope it works, I hope it works, I hope it works. I send out I give them some questions, you discuss these things, or you used to do. Welcome. And from there, I kind of like, oh, I hope they do discuss my questions. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they kind of like, they end up saying, well, we didn't exactly answer your question, but it was really interesting. Like, we have a very good discussion. And I know they've been like everywhere, but not discussing the topic. So I kind of, from there, as a facilitator, I needed to invent some kind of tool to make them to disciplinate or to help them sticking to the subject and use their knowledge and use their experience in the best way for what we are there for. So that's why I invented the graphic templates. Also, I used a lot of graphic facilitation, also a bit graphic recording, but mostly graphic facilitation. And I find it works. So this is really, really low key. I mean, really low key. It's really simple, but it works. So that's why I wanted to share it with you. And I've kind of like taken my 20 best graphic templates, and let's see if it's meaningful for you. So it's really low key, and it's I won't get any degree anyway on this one, but it works. So graphic templates for me is you paint something on a poster. Often it's a poster, you hang it up the wall, and then you make a little group work standing here. Because then when you have groups standing, working on a poster, you can see whether they're like working on the poster of the subject, or they're going like, no, I don't, then they're standing like this, I don't really know, and you can see, they're not working with the right theme or the right question. That's why when they're standing like this, but when they're standing like this, you can see they're on track. So therefore I'll always use it like as a poster, instead of making it digital. So I'm not much of a digital person, because this gives us more energy and makes it easier for me as a facilitator to see, can I help them or are they okay? So one of my favorite posters or templates is actually this thing about make a top 5 or make a top 3, or what are the 3 most important challenges, signs of a specific problem, directions of solutions, or ways our concept could go, or anything like that. But instead of giving them the question, which would be the most important signs of this problem, I ask them to fill out this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because when I say discuss, if I give them this task as a group task, in small groups discuss what are the 5 most characteristic problems of blah blah blah, they will only come back with 2 or 3, because they will tend to keep on discussing what I said, what you said, I'll go into what you said, and say, no, I don't think so, because. But if I give them a poster saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they do it. Because it's like these numbers kind of disciplinates us. It helps us going broad. It helps us filling it out. So my question to them it doesn't help them enough, but the paper disciplinates us. If it says 5, so we go like, okay, we do 5. So this top 5, it works a lot. So and I give them as a poster, and I give them as just a simple paper. It also helps the group. I mean, graphic templates is also helping the group, because often in a group you have like 1 or 2 who's really often going different directions and discussing a lot of other things, and then you've got 1 or 2 who really wants to keep track, or who wants to discuss the key subject. And this little poster helps them, because they can go like, well, what would number 3 then? And they can point at the paper and help it. So it helps them discipline each other also. So it's really simple, but it helps them a lot. It works, and then they will come back to 5. I also give them really, really short time limits, so they only work in like 10, 15, maximum 20 minutes if it's a complicated issue. But this one, it would go like 8 minutes, something like that, because I don't want them to discuss for too long, because then they lose track of time also. They go like, okay, we've got plenty of time. We can easily discuss a lot of other things before we return to this thing. So, easy, but it works. Does it make sense for you? Mm-hmm. Do you understand my point? Okay. If you just go like, okay, I don't get your point because this is my point of view, and I need to know if you can see.
We're implementing to our education right now.
Sorry?
We're getting the ideas and implementing them right now.
Good.
That's how it comes.
Okay, perfect. Another one that I'm using a lot is the personas. You probably know personas. You have like, it's a fictive person who's typical of a certain certain amount of clients or customers or whatever you're working on. And I call it personas light because it's not a real personas, but it works really, really well. And I give them just the headlines. You have to fill out this, so I give them headlines here, and I ask them to draw or find a picture, and then I hang it up the wall and ask them to work on it. So it disciplines also because they can see they have to fill out 4 personas here, so they have to get working. And sometimes I also ask clients or the people that I am designing, or my students or my organization is designing something for, I ask them to make personas of themselves. So who are we? Because they actually have enough knowledge on who are we. Asking students or participants in a workshop on what would your clients, what would the ones who are gonna enjoy this or use this concept that you're making, what would they think, feel, to step into their shoes and have that point of perspective. I often kind of just draw a little face, and then I thought about what would they think, what would they feel, what would they say about this thing. So, and if I just get the question, it'll be difficult to, as a group, to find out the perspective of 5 different clients. But if I draw little heads and thought bubbles, it'll be easier for them to actually work with 5 different perspectives. So every time I have like something I want to ask them, I think, okay, how can I draw this and make them discuss the right things without trying to guide it or facilitate it with a question, but facilitate it with a drawing or some kind of template. And you're getting all these posters or this presentation. Yeah. Kunde is a client or customer in Danish. Kunde 1, kunde 0, kunde 1, kunde 2, and so on. Sometimes I also ask them to draw scenarios of what would your concept be like when it's in use, when it's done, when it's delivered. What would it look like when people use it? So they are inventing or they are working with some kind of service, some kind of product. Both work with services and products. So what will it look like when it is used? And I use this in the, not in the very beginning of an innovation or entrepreneurial process, but in the end of it, when they have their idea and they kind of need to develop the details. Because during this they'll find a lot of details. They go like, hey, oh, how are they going to do that? Well, we don't, oh shit, we have to remember, blah, blah, blah. And they will find a lot of details that they have to keep developing in their concept before implementing it. Or, yeah. This is a service blueprint, some kind of customer travel. More detailed customer travel, and I also use that just as a poster and make them fill out, and you can have like different, this is the front stage personnel, staff, thank you, and that's like physical materials, and that's like the digital system, and things are like working on several levels at the same time. This is for research, I think. This is for, that's for how I mostly use it. This is for researching on how a certain service is delivered, used, and produced. But it works as a poster, as as a template for guiding their work as well. This is a benchmarking canvas. Let's say this is our product. What's it like compared and benchmarked with other products on the market? This is our concept. What is benchmarked with other concepts? The price, the effects. How much will it actually solve the problem of our clients? How easy accessible is it, and so on. You can have like different criteria down here, and then you mark it. Okay, big value for the customer, or very low value for the customer. This one is like my favorite one. I use it like maybe in every second workshop I have, no matter whether I do develop like welfare services or chewing gum or anything like that with clients I have. So you can have like different kinds of criteria. Here it says very easy to implement, very difficult, very expensive to implement. Oh, it'll work so well, it has a huge effect on our problem, little effect. And of course, so I often use it to like screen my ideas, or ask a group to screen their ideas on it. And of course we love the ideas that are very, very easy to implement. It'll not be very expensive, and they have like a large effect on our problem. But also the one that has a little effect, but is very easy to implement, is often interesting to work with. These could also be, but I mean they're expensive, difficult, stuff like that. One point is it makes it easier for a group to get an overview, but it also, and that's actually the key thing about this tool, a template, it makes it easy for a group to, or it makes it easier for the group members to kind of let go of their own darlings. Because when they've got, oh, this is my darling idea, and I'm gonna like talk about it, argue for it, and all that, until the others go like, okay, we accept it. But using this template, it's easier for them to work with a lot of different ideas, and instead of just clinging on to their own darling idea. Yeah. This is kind of also for screening ideas or for evaluation ideas. NAF is like novelty, attractiveness, and feasibility. So how easy, how new is it, and then how much value will it actually give us? So you give it like numbers and points. Idea number 1 has got like. So it also it helps a group to evaluate an idea more or less objectively. So not to just want to vote for your own darling idea. And it's, as you can see, they're not like complicated, none of them, but it makes it easy for me to like design a task that will lead the group into good discussions, instead of us giving them a question, which will more or less, it's so easy for us to get in different direction, or it's very easy for us to keep on argumenting for what I just said earlier, and then hanging on to that. That's also another kind of giving of template, where you give like points and to an idea. And I discussed that this is really, you can have like different kinds of criteria here. I have this one. Of course, there's something about effect. How much will it work? How much will it solve the problem that we have? Or how much will it satisfy the market in this specific? How much? What's the need for it? You could also say that. How easy is it to implement, or sell, or make work? This one is what is the public appeal of it? Will people talk about this? Is it like an idea that your uncle will tell your aunt because he thinks it's such a good idea? And if you got like, this is also maybe it's a news appeal. Is it something you'll talk about? Will you get into the papers about it? Is it something people will go like, hey, that's cool? Or is it like, okay, I don't really understand it, and I can't tell anything about it because I don't really understand it. And how new is it? Is it something that the world has never seen before, or is it just in our village it's not been seen before? Which can be very good. I mean, it's really difficult to invent something that the world hasn't seen yet. This is kind of an analysis of the stakeholders. Yeah. Skide godt. Stakeholder, you can like have all kinds of different stuff. You pick it from project leading, you can pick it from different areas. So the key thing is about drawing it really large, putting it up, making a group work on it, and short time limits. Yeah. Let me see. One more I want to share. Oh. Yeah, design principles. So sometimes when I used to work with an external stakeholder or problem owner, I ask them to say, what are the key principles, design principles of this? Do we want it to be? We want to have another one. Yeah, we want to have like. Yeah, you can put all kinds of different criteria up here. It could also be, does it have to be for everybody or just for a small group? Does it have to be like easy accessible or difficult to access? What is the key principles of this one? And then make a group define that, or make a external problem owner define it with the group. Yeah, but it makes it easier for the group to get all the way around it instead of just clinging on to one element of it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
But we're so lucky that